And we're live. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining me on Omi's production studio. You've got your Omi Inc. Live here, and I'm coming at you with a bit of news from our white male supremacist section. I'm bringing you white females in drag supporting white male supremacists. Now, a number of you are looking at white male supremacists without looking at the females that are white that are in drag, carrying out the mission of the white male supremacists. Now, you're going to have to be very keen to stay up. You've got to stay up because I want you to know that we are looking at the wrong person. We're looking at the white male to see if he's going to further the cause of white male supremacists, when in fact he has his white female out front carrying out the mission of white male supremacists. And we've taken our eyes off of the white man. We've actually kept our eyes on the white man and not on his white concubine or white wife. Now, why do I say this? Now, here's my case in point. I do have a video out on YouTube with why the white female, cannot get along with the African American woman on the workforce or in the workforce. And so many times that this white female has carried out the mission of white male supremacists while on the job. And I explain that explicitly in one of my videotapes. Go out and take a look at it. But my whole philosophy and hypothesis is that we have to take a look at the white female that's out front, that's carrying on the mission. Here's my case in point. Even with the case with Bill Cosby, that is white females in drag carrying out the mission of the white male and supremacists. Why do I say that? Is because the Me Too movement was not only created by a group of white women, but there were white men behind what was produced, so that they can say that their hands are clean and that they can stand behind, they can throw the rock and then stand far away and say, I'm not involved in this. This is the white women with their causes, when in fact, their white women are spearheading their causes as well. They are they are making a decision to wear the trousers and carry out the mission. And they're dangerous, very dangerous, as you can see. So please don't take the attitude that they're just innocent feminine women trying to get their way. They're very dangerous, nothing to play with. They're carrying out the mission. They have the full mission, and it's activated and it is in effect. Now, I want to tell you something, black people. You black men, stop playing with white women. Stop playing with them. Stop casually dating them. Stop going out on dates with them. Stop interacting with them in the workforce and outside of work, because they're carrying out a mission. And if they're carrying out a mission, they're heavily armed. As you can see, they were able to assemble all those white women to come up with charges against Bill Cosby, over 60 of them. Now, granted that more African American women are assaulted than Caucasian. So why is it that they had so many Caucasians to come out? Because they were put on notice. Bill's profile was pulled up, and all of the people that were white that he interacted with over the years were contacted. This was no accident. They didn't just show up because they saw it on TV or heard about it. Somebody personally placed the call to all of these women. And they were a silent weapon waiting to happen, because the white female in drag always knew that she was going to have to carry this mission out. And she knew that the white male supremacists had already told her what the plans were, what they would have to do to position themselves, how many people would have to come forward. And in addition to that, they knew what they were doing, stopping Bill. Let's kill Bill by any means necessary. And this was a plan described and configured by the white male supremacists. Bill had to go. He was in the way. So let's use our silent weapon, our white females in drag, to carry out this mission. And don't think that they're done. This is a tactic now, and they're finding that the judges and the juries are not going through. Guess what? The next one and the next one and the next one will go through too, because they now have their Me Too movement, which are the white females in drag carrying out the mission. Isn't that clever? That is a war strategy, people. If you haven't noticed, that is a war strategy. And what our white males are experts in doing is strategizing and carrying out a war mission. So now that they have called war, and they have put it out there that the black people, we are at war with you concerning any black man that wants to advance himself and hold himself out to be the representative of the black race. We are challenging them with all weapons. And one of our secret lethal weapons is the white female in drag. She's coming after you, and she wants to sell her goodies and get you caught up so that now we got you in a trap. Bill couldn't see that. He was an old man. He should have got out the game a long time ago, because he should have surely knew that this was coming. And there are a lot more other ones out there that are just holding on, thinking, no, they will never come after me. But this is a strategy. Why wouldn't they come after you? First of all, the white female has to be conditioned, and she has to be put through training. Do you not but think that over the years that her white man has not been schooling her and giving her tutelage and instructions for how to go after each one of you black men? She didn't learn this on her own. She had to submit to her counterpart so that she can stand in drag. She's carrying the identity of a female and a male. She's in drag. She's perpetrating. She might even be a dyke, for all we know, who is perpetrating a woman, but she is a man. Now, we know that there are a number of transvestites that are out there that have still decided to keep their organs, but they're perpetrating a woman. Now, everybody kept looking at this last constant and saying, boy, does she look like a man. Now, has anybody checked out her history? Do they know her to be a heterogeneous female, or have they checked out her history? Do they know anything about her past? Once we get it clear that we're not just fighting up against white male supremacists, but we're fighting against white females in drag, carrying out the mission of the white male supremacists. Then we can see how in their absence, because they're only 1/3 of the population, but the white females are large in number, you say, so we can use the white females to carry out our mission. And boy, are they doing a good job of it, because they're acting the part of a woman in drag. She's carrying out the mission of the white male supremacists. That is her itinerary. That's her MO. From here on out, she's been told, let's get the black man. By any means necessary. We know that all black men who come in power, that the first thing that they want to transition into is into the white world of a white female, to let the white Caucasian know, now I've got it all because I have your white woman too. And boy, do you have the problems that go with it. Now, The reason why I can tell you that, I watched a 20-year relationship of an interracial couple deteriorate a black man. I've watched this. And didn't our family tell this young man, you need to get out while you can? You're deteriorating, you're being destroyed. But that is their mission. And don't think that she's coming to help you. She's coming to see what she can take from you. If it's money you got, benefits, she wants all of them. She's going to set up so that she is a recipient of all of your benefits, married or not. She knows common law. She only has to stay with you for 7 years. Then everything you got, she owns it. And don't think that she's not trying to push you over that bridge as fast as she can, because she is. And sometimes you wonder what the hell happened when you find yourself bedridden, can't walk, and disabled. And you don't realize even how you got there. All you know is you had a fall and you never got up. Now you're laying in somebody's hospital and you're disabled and she's getting cut a check. Look at how she strategized and laid low all that time just to get her hands on your benefits. And you never knew what hit you. Yes, I've seen it. I've seen it. And believe you me, I've had my time with a white female. I've had to wrestle with them like alligators in an alligator pit because I saw them coming with their mission in hand, ready to carry out the mission of white male supremacists, all in drag. And they had to import those women overseas. And when they imported them overseas, all the white man had to do was stand back and let them carry out the mission. So what are we going to do about it, black women? Now that we know that these white women are in drag and they want to be our friend, they want us to be a part of their feminine movement, let me say something to you black women out there who are silly than hell. If you jump on a bandwagon of feminist movement, you are a fool, because that's not your mission. You have no business carrying out any white male supremacists in drag, because that's what you'll be doing, because you'll be doing the bid of a man. You only have to grab down between your legs and crouch your own self to believe that you're now on a mission to carry out white male supremacists while in drag. See, we didn't look at this. We didn't catch this. We were too busy looking at the male who was with the KKKs and all of the white male movement, but we weren't looking at what he had trained his female woman to do, to carry out the mission. She is a mission unaccomplished who's carrying out the mission. And on this one, we can score one on their behalf because she scored a touchdown by using white male supremacist tactic to get Bill and kill Bill. Don't think she's going to stop. She's feeling powerful and successful because she has scored one for her white male supremacists. He's rallying her on. He's patting her on the back. He's giving her accolades. He's promoting her. He's advancing her now that she's carried this mission out. We got to think straight, women. And all those stations out there like Fly Queen, Fly Nubian Queen, I applaud you for putting things out there and putting them on the line. Black folks have got to make some changes. We've got to make some changes now that we're in the game and we know how the sport is being played. We can get our best players up front and position our players so we can get them on their own inadequacy. We could call them out in public so that the world can see. There are a number of them out there, and we have not even begun to do our work, and we got to structure ourselves. We got to get our men and bring them to a meeting to discuss with them. Under no circumstances Are you to have relationship with them? Or you to court them? Or you to even go after them? I don't care what your heart desire is. You got to let it go. All in the name of strategizing your own mission. Or else they will attempt to lock every one of you up who is weak-minded and that who is not put on notice to carry out our own mission. Now, black women have been carrying out the mission since slavery days. We know the protocol. Get in position, black women. We know the protocol and we know the procedure because we have been allowed to more than anyone else in this century. And we know how he thinks. So we should have known that he was going to put it on his white woman to go and drag and carry out the mission. We should have known that. But no, we're so busy being excited about the fact that we can get through to the white male and supremacists. You know why? Because we raised them. And most of the slave mothers breastfed those white male supremacists, so they have the nature of that child and what he will be. So we have answers and solutions to how to stop this white male supremacist in their spot and how to discontinue the white female in drag. Because she's coming to the most prominent places, such in the boardroom, such as in corporation meetings, executive meetings. She's in the House of Representatives, she's in the House of Executives, and she's in the House of the White House. And she's carrying out her mission. Yes, she is. And now that Obama has approved of the LGBT group, a number of them have been given assignments. And that's why some of them are out there already working and don't know they're working against their race. You must first consider race first, and then all else comes after that. But we cannot allow this white male to force his woman to go out in drag to work against racial groups like the African American and especially our black men who are slowly rising in economic status and economic power. Because those powerhouse men, we need to gather into our own to put a buzz in their ear about what is about to come up on them and make them conscious and knowledgeable about that white female in drag so they won't get mistaken and get carried under and trying to grasp for air, but when they come up, they suddenly realize they didn't have a relationship at all, that this woman was going after them at the jugular vein. And it's so sad how Bill was attacked by 60 women who he had no sexual relationship with, and they couldn't prove it, and especially the one that went and had a civil case against them. She shouldn't have been able to bring anything in the courtroom. What happened to that law when you settle outside of court and you get a settlement and then you decide to bring the same case in to the courtroom and then you declare a misfit? Isn't that a kangaroo case or what? It's like you're trying the same man over and over for the same crime. Is it because you wanted to make sure you got Bill and he was good and dead? Well, don't be too sure, because Bill is going to rise up from the dead. Oh, yes, this very person we're going to keep on our altar and keep praying his strength that God allows him to rise up from the dead and he come back and get every one of you white females in drag and charge you with false arrest and have you up on charges, because that's exactly what should be happening right now. All of those white females in drag carrying out the mission of the white male supremacists should be put on trial, and they should be tried for treason and given a felony for falsifying arrests and falsifying statements under perjury under the judiciary system. So I want you to know, let's start putting our eyes on the white female, because she is at odds with us black women. We have no business in her feminine movement. She's never been for us. In the workforce, she is vicious. She will act like a serpent, and she will come and put her venom on you and take you out of your jobs. Ask me how I know. When I seen them in action, coming for all the jobs of the female GS women overseas, coming for their jobs, while the white male supremacists stood back with their arms folded because they didn't have to get their hands dirty because the white females was carrying out their mission. And I'm telling you what I know, because this has been a long time gimmick and plan. And it's happening all over the nation, not just in the entertainment department, but all over. And this is when you see a collapsing system. And when the system starts to collapse, all hands are down on deck. Let's pull out everything we can. They pulled out everything they could on Bill to primarily set an example of, here's what we do to your kind when you're not even guilty, and our kind can walk. Why aren't we trying those other men who have also been convicted of rape and sexual harassment? Why don't we bring them into trial? Take the defense and change it and turn it around. We must put them on the defense now. They cannot make us on the offense and come after our men anymore. We must call a halt, because white male supremacists is alive and well, but white females in drag is even more alive, and they're actively working, and they're looking and plotting for their next victim. Just as they started with Morgan Freeman, they started with Chris Brown. Don't think that they're not going to stop. They're going to bring every black man down that appears to have some money. And they're going after the jugular vein so they can pull all their cash. Now, us black women, we got to start our own movement. And our movement has got to be to protect our kings so that we will build our kingdomship together. We don't do anything independently, black women. We are in duality. So we go get our kings, and we let them know that we are rooting and pulling for them. And we fight right alongside them. And we do not have to go and drag. We are feminine and we are females. We fight in duality with our man. And our man is up against the wall now, and they've called him out. So we only need to get our firing practices ready so we can get our fiery dots together in our secret magic stick as we begin to go behind the scene and to point out the inadequacies of how they're attempting to destroy our black families and our black men. And we don't want anybody attacking our black families, because we'll come out like a badger. And we know how to fight, and we don't have to go and drag. We can still remain a lady and pull out our magic stick. And our magic stick has no problem in penetrating, because all we need to do is think a thing, call a name, use a special word, and the work is beginning. And it has already begun for all of those women that participated in Bill's demise, who put him under. Every one of them, everyone, not one, but every one of them will be visited, and they will have to regurgitate their lies and come forward and tell the truth, because if they don't, they will wish they had it, because Bill is a spiritual man, and I do believe Bill is praying in that prison that everyone that has something to do with his trial and with the falsification will be gotten and will be chastised. It's very important to know that white females in drag, they work in circles, and they're working on the NFL team next. They're going to get a lot of black men on the NFL team. And if you're dating with white women, you better break it off. You better walk away from it, because there's so many relationships now that are interracial that are breaking up and that are falling apart. I can't see anything that the other race will want to die for on the causes of black. If they don't have that kind of attitude, you have no business being with them, because your own people are the ones who will bleed for you. And no other race of people is going to be bleeding for you and taking up a cause for you. How do we know she's in drag? Well, let me give you an example. She doesn't have to go on a show and dress like an LGBT. She doesn't have to wear a beard or a tie to show that she's carrying out the mannerisms of a male. She only needs to have the desire to book money and make money and go after money. Money is her aim and her direction. But some black men don't see that. How is it that you can hand a white woman $30,000 when you got black people can live off of that kind of money in a whole village? And you giving her $30,000 that she blew and chopped off and wasted, and then she had the audacity to come back to you for some more money? And because you didn't give it to her, she violated the rules and brought you into court. Now you see what this woman is capable of doing. Bill, I know you're turning over in your bed every night saying, why did I ever get involved with her? Couldn't you see it? And black men, I'm talking to you too. She's not your friend. She wasn't there with your slave relatives when they went through slavery. She didn't wipe your face. She didn't dry your tears. She didn't dry your tears with her kisses. She didn't rub your back. If you didn't do anything but give it to some lonely black woman and give her what she needs, and give her a seed and a child and put some money in her bank, it would pay for all of the times that her ancestors lifted you up. Let's lift our black woman up where she belongs, black men. Now that you see the writing on the wall, there's no way this white woman can vindicate you. There's nothing she can say to excuse herself from the way that her white women in drag carry themselves in that courtroom and carry themselves with these false statements. There's nothing she could do to actually say she's sorry for the misconduct of these women. How can you still be living with her? I'm appealing to you black men right now. How could you still be going to sleep with her at night, not knowing what will happen to you in the middle of the night? How do you trust someone that's carrying out the mission of a white male supremacist who hates your guts? How? Tell me, how can you put a seed in her and allow it to grow and to only misrepresent you and to only represent white male supremacists? Then can you look at yourself and say, I wasted my seed, I planted my seed where it will grow and come up against me? I'm talking to you black men out there, because you can make a difference in this movement that black women need to put together. You need to spearhead it. And we need to counteract this white female supremacist in drag. We need to counteract it and stand as a unified couple so that they know that we're together and we're not separated and we're not angry at each other. But we've got to do something about this white female in drag, because she's carrying out the mission of the white male supremacist. And it doesn't have to be a cross in your yard. It doesn't have to be the KKKs in your back yard. It doesn't have to be any of those things. But the movement is out there and it's alive. And it started with the Me Too movement. And that needs to be dismantled, or we must create something to counteract it. But we certainly can't keep going on with this foolishness about, oh, there's nothing we can do. All these black men are guilty. These black men are not guilty. They're just being gotten. by the white female in drag. She's doing a bid. She's doing a bid. When you do a bid and you're on assignment, you must carry it out. It's just like somebody putting a hit on somebody. They have to carry it out. It's a mission she's on. And yet we can't even see it. We don't even have the idea that the white man is standing behind the house with his hands behind his back after he's thrown the rock by calling this white female to carry out the plans and his desire. So we are standing back here wondering what hit us, and we are not even asking, what can we do as black people to counteract the white female in drag? Now, I told you in the workforce, ladies, that she is not our friend. She will fight us to the finish for our jobs and promotion. She does not want us to get ahead. She reactivates the mammy concept where she wants you to take care of her and to preserve her soul. You cannot preserve your soul, her soul, while your soul is being antagonized by the white male supremacists. So now he's got a partner. He's got an aid in crime that's helping him. He's not alone. He's building in numbers now because he knows his numbers are dwindling. And therefore, he is up against the wall, and you see so many middle-aged white men committing suicide because they're overwhelmed. But as long as they can get their white females to add to their support in numbers, then they start gaining momentum. And that tells you something, black women. We've got to get our black men, and we've got to stand up with them and let them know that under no circumstances are we going to leave them out there alone, where this venomous, vicious white woman in drag can come after him. And just because she smiles in your face and tells you, oh, you smell nice and flowery, you smell good. And then you think she wants you and you fall in love with her, and now it is on for keeps. Let me tell you something. She can't love you because it would deny her the fact of loving her own white male. And she's not going to come against her own white male. She's going to carry his mission out. Like it or not, eventually, sooner or later, she has to carry out the mission with you, man, black man. Eventually, she's going to have to sedate you and come after you, and your numbers will be up. That's right. Because she knows that she has something to gain, she can take you right in the courtroom and get everything you got, and now you're a broke black man trying to crawl back to your own community. And guess what? We'll take you back, but it's on the premises that you will not go back and enter into any interracial relationship. But you have to come to your senses now. Some of you got a chance to get out now. Some of you are seeing the writing on the wall right now, and you say, oh boy, I got to get out of this relationship. This white woman is all for her people. She's trying to take me for everything I'm worth. She's going to go after all of my bank account, and she's going to try to set me up. Who sent her to do this? Who? She couldn't have thought of this plan on her own. I'm just wondering who. See, you never, ever think that it's the white male supremacist who's sending his woman in drag to do his work, to carry out his mission. So let's not get it twisted. This white male supremacist is alive and well and has been reactivated with the new movement, the Me Too, because now he has all of those white legs and white women and some black women that are carrying out the mission. Black women, get the hell out of that movement. You're fighting against your own self. Can't you see it? They put that organization together to come and dismantle black men. And if it affects one black man, eventually it'll affect your children, your black sons, your grandson, and it'll affect you too. And you will take it in your own hands to destroy your house and tear down your house with your own hand. If you stay in that movement, you're going to get got. And I promise you, you will, because a house cannot stand divided. And you are divided right now in that movement. And that movement is gaining momentum. Every time you look up, there is a discussion about the Me Too movement. Okay. If it's gaining so much momentum, then they're looking for their next victim. So we got to get on the counter movement, and we got to start our movement. We need to meet in the upper room so we can talk about our mission, girls. Because our black men can't keep getting got like this, and we've got to give them something to contend with. Because see, when the white female reaches down to grab in her crotch and find out she is without a penis, then she'll realize she's in the wrong movement. But right now she's mesmerized because she's doing the bid of her husband and her loved one, her number one white male supremacist. But we got to look at this thing a little bit different because it's dangerous. And you can't keep killing off our men, and you can't keep locking them up in prison. And there are not enough prisons to keep us down, because when you press us to the ground, we will rise to the top. And we are rising to the top now. And if this is your fear, I want you to know you have more to fear than what you know. You have more to fear. You ain't seen nothing yet. The black woman ain't came out of the closet yet with her magic. The black woman ain't came out with her words of power. I'm speaking words of power over you. And as I speak words of power over you, even through this airway, they will penetrate. My ninth ether on my head will penetrate to give me information so nothing will slip up on us. We'll be reminded through the Holy Spirit of every mission you got planned for us and everything you plan to try to do to us. You better do it quickly, like Jesus said to Judas. What you came to do, you better do it quickly, because we're on to you now, and we are not stopping. We're not even taking a rest, and in our sleeps, we are advocating and preparing for this new woman in drag, carrying out the mission of the white male supremacists. Now let's think. We got some changes to do, people, black people. Television is destroying us. We've got to start being intellectual and educators and researchers. Stop wasting so much time on that false, phony news that they're giving you. That media is feeding you a line and telling you what to think and making all kinds of subliminal suggestions. So leave it alone for a while. It is not doing us any good. And we must take time out to hurdle ourselves together on these YouTube sites with people that are putting plans together, that are activating a resource for you. And that's why I say in every family, you need a resource center in your home. I will give you the necessary information to make up that resource center, because if you do have special ed children in your home, you are going to need a family resource center where you can house information. You must make your home resource centers, and you must utilize them instead of television. And for those mothers who have special needs children, look at where your child is at. If he's on Ritalin and he's not getting any better, go and have a talk with your doctor and talk to him about other alternative treatments and talk to him about other therapy, because you cannot give a child Ritalin without a behavior modification therapy, and that would mean therapy for him or the family. So look into what's happening in your school system with your special needs child. And do not let your child stay 16 years in special ed. Ask that he be gravitated and put back into the mainstream so he can get a real diploma and not just a piece of paper, because that's what they're going to give him if he graduates out of special ed department, is a know-nothing certificate that is worthless and that he cannot use to get in anyone's college nor in anyone's military. He would have to take additional classes at the junior college level in order to go to a four-year college. Now, there's some other things that we could do, mothers. There's some other things. If you are not an advocate, go and sign up and train to become a surrogate advocate. This is how we're going to help our children in the social services whose children are in the welfare system. When you become a surrogate advocate, you can advocate for these children who have no mothers, who won't show up at the meeting, who can't show up at the meeting. You can advocate on behalf of these black children, and we can snatch our children out of the fire. If we're going to pull ourselves together, we got to take care of our own household first. And our households are in a shamble. So we create our family resource centers. We become a surrogate advocate to become interactively in developing our neighborhood. A lot of us black women are not working, and those who are not working, I expect you to all become a surrogate advocate. As a matter of fact, in some states, they pay you to become a surrogate advocate. You don't have to pay for the training. Now that you're a surrogate advocate, you can work as an independent advocate in the school system. And if you prevail in most states, you can be paid. So this is not just some volunteer job. This is a job working with the laws of special ed and combating the problem of the children that are in the special ed. It's a pipeline into prison. We must free our children out of prison. This is Harriet Tubman talking to you. I'm giving you the direction for how we can free ourselves and to ward ourselves off against this white female in drag. Now that we become a surrogate advocate, we want to go over to the court system, and we want to become a co-parent resolutionist. Call me, contact me, and I can show you how you can take the course for co-parenting resolutionist for less than $100 and become licensed as a co-parent resolutionist. Me and Judge Kermit can help you get through that and get you substantiated so you can go into the courtrooms and you can then begin to represent the parents who are going through a divorce, who by court are mandated to take the co-parenting resolutionist class, which includes early childhood courses. And for some of those mothers that are reuniting and they're bonding back with their children that are coming out of the foster parent system, there are classes also that they must take and bonding classes that they must take that you can assist with. We need to straighten up our area and making sure that we're actively involved in making ourselves a better home. Now, how we can get our communities together, we're going to have to stay on the watch, like the watchman on the wall. If we see any movement rising up against black people, minority people, that is a part of that Me Too movement or any other movement, we dismantle it. We render it helpless. We go in on them and we report on them because we know that they're part of the white male supremacists and they're white females and black females in drag from that Me Too movement. And some of you black women don't even know it. Let us put a buzz in your ear. You're fighting against yourself. So come on out of that group. Now, anytime we see any more groups rising up, we call a press release and we go out to speak against it. And we need to be calling the press release now to talk about all the things that are going wrong because the white male supremacist is forcing his woman to go out and drag and carry out the mission. And I'm sure a lot of you white women don't even know it, or some of you might know it, and you may have everything to gain. But if you want to get out of the white female and drag and you don't want to do that anymore, then stop it and leave cold turkey. Shake it off. You don't have to be forced to do something that's going to give you repercussions and consequences, because there certainly is going to be repercussions and consequences behind this. Yes, we're looking at the white female in drag carrying out the mission of the white male supremacist. She's out front now. She's the leader. She's the forerunner. White male is losing he's losing game. He's losing numbers. He's dwindling, and by the year of 2019, he will almost be fizzled out. So he's getting and drawing unto his own as fast as he can. So I want you African American women to know that we're not laying asleep and we're not asleep. We are wide awake, and I want you to stay woke on this one. We're not just dealing with the white supremacists. As I told you, the white male supremacist was a sport, and we're playing a game. Yes, the game is to gather unto his own his white females to send them out in drag to carry out his mission of white male supremacists. We're on to this now. We're putting the puzzle together, and we're wide awake. And boy, do you realize now that the black woman is awake, we are on to this situation, and we are about to bring all of this under subjection. So thank you so very much for tuning in and listening to this show. I'll be back at you later on this week. So do remember, it is not just the white male supremacists. We are looking at white female supremacists in drag, carrying out the mission of white male supremacists. Thank you very much, and do have a pleasant day. Odabo.